Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? I wanted to do this quick tutorial on how to make an image look better. Today we're going to be working with files from morguefile.com. Basically, these are just images that you can get from online. They haven't been touched up or anything. They just go into this bin of files, and that's why it's called morguefile.com. So I want to go over here and we're going to work with an image here. Let's see, I'm going to get out of QuickTime. Using QuickTime to record the screen in case you didn't know that you could do that. So let's go to Photoshop and File, Place Embedded. That allows you to place an image on the canvas. And first one we're going to work with is just this image of the back of a girl and her coat. So you may be looking at this already and thinking, well, the image looks fine to me, so how are you going to make it look any better? Well, let me go ahead and enlarge this. Okay, let's go ahead and place that on the canvas by pressing enter. And just looking around here, you can see that the outsides of here, they're just a little light. We're going to try and bring some color out of the trees and maybe a little bit of this red and definitely this back area where it just looks really light. So to do this, you're going to go down here and this is an adjustment layer. You're going to click on the adjustment layer and first we're going to add a levels adjustment layer. And so basically what this is just different colors. RGB is red, green, blue. This is the graph of what the colors that are actually in the picture. So we're going to leave it by default here. And what we're going to do is we're going to drag this left slider over to the right, and notice it's going to make the picture a little darker. So it's taking all the darker colors and kind of enhancing them. And to balance that out, what we're going to do is bring this right slider also to the left, and it's going to lighten up the picture for everything that it made dark. Kind of gets that cinematic feel when you bring this slider over to the right. So we're going to leave that in. And what we're going to do is we're going to tie this actual layer into this image. And you can do that by holding the Alt key and then waiting until this arrow shows that it's dropping down into the next layer, and you're just going to click. And you'll see that this arrow actually shows that it's into this layer only. If you were to have different layers, this would actually apply to every single layer. So you just want to make sure it's only in the picture layer. So it looks like that's a lot better. We've got more red jacket here. Brought some green out in the trees. The picture looks a little better. Let's add one more adjustment layer. And we're going to use hue/saturation. When we bring that, it's going to bring up another layer. What we can do is hold the Alt key. If you're on a MacBook Pro, you can hold just the Alt. You don't have to have function and Alt. Just hold the Alt to get that arrow and click. That'll tie it down into this picture as well. Kind of, it's a chain of command there. And so what we're going to do here to make it look even better is we're going to take this saturation and we're going to bring it up about, let's say about 19. Let's see if we go up any more. Okay, it looks like that's a little too much. So let's go back down about 19. We'll click these arrows here. And so looking through here, that looks a lot better. It definitely brought out all the colors. You can tell in these socks here and the shoes that all the colors are very vivid now. You probably don't notice yet, but let's go ahead and take these off and see what it looks like before. So we take the saturation off. You can see that down here in this area, the colors are actually gone and a little more washed out and grayish if you look over here. Now here's where you're going to see the big difference. Click on this levels layer. You take that off and look at that. That's the original image, which actually didn't look too bad at the beginning, but it looks so much worse. So let's bring those layers back on, and you just notice that big color difference. So you can use just these two layers if you've got an image that just didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. Maybe you didn't have the right kind of lighting. You can bring out those, bring out those colors with Photoshop. It does a really good job of that. Let's take a quick look at another one. I will get rid of these. I want to delete these layers, and I've actually got, here's the one I did originally, so we'll bring those open. That's the original one. We'll take that off the screen. So let's bring up another one. Place embedded. And this is a bridge over stream. Place that on the canvas. Same thing. We're going to enlarge it. And let's see here. We'll just do this. I'm working on a MacBook Pro, so enter to place that on. Now this one definitely looks like it's got really good color, and you've got to really notice in pictures that when you think they have good color, you can always add these adjustment layers and just see how they turn out, because sometimes what you initially see might look like it's good, but until you add those adjustment layers, you can actually see that it'll be much better. So let's go ahead and add the levels first. And just my personal use of levels, I like to put that on there first before the saturation, because if you oversaturate and then try to put the levels on, it will just look really bad. So we're going to take this left slider, bring it to the right. Notice how everything's getting dark, kind of getting that cinematic feel. And we're going to bring this in from the left and balance it out. Notice how it brightens that picture. Make sure you don't overdo it. If you go over too far, it's going to make it look really bad. So we'll bring this back a little bit, about right there. Drop this down. We're going to add that into the image, and we're going to do the same thing. Looks pretty good, but I'm also going to bring in another saturation layer. We're going to hold Alt, click it in there, and bring up the saturation just a little bit. You don't need a whole lot in this image because it's already pretty saturated, but it looks like we're going to go about 20. You want to look in these areas that are really light. Let's see if maybe if we go up a little bit more, probably going to be too much. Yep. So we'll go back down, maybe about 23. Look at these areas. So we got nice white clouds. All these colors are here. Drop this down. So again, we're going to look at this image all the way around. What you can do is take these layers off. There's the saturation layer. Notice there's just a little bit of a difference right here and right at the top. Take that one off. Now let's take the levels off. That's the original image. Washed out, kind of grainy. And this is what you can expect when you're going to free photo websites. They haven't really been touched up, and a lot of times that's why they're free. People take images, photographers, and they don't want to retouch them, and they can put those on those websites. But it's just a quick tutorial on how to make images look great in Photoshop. If you don't have Photoshop, you can get a 30-day free trial at adobe.com and just try it out. You know, I was really intimidated by Photoshop at the beginning, but it's a great program once you learn how to use it. And just get the 30-day free trial, try it out. It's $10 a month if you want the software, and that always gives you the latest version. I'm running with the Creative Cloud 2015. So thanks for stopping by, and if you have any questions, leave comments below.